Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to watch the most disturbing doorbell footage, Iceberg Volume 2. I think we watched Iceberg Volume 1, so if not, then we'll watch later, okay? Video by Abyssal, I guess I pronounced it right, I hope. Abyssal, I guess. Abyssal, I'll call him Abyssal Detective, okay? Let's go. I love this guy's video. Like I watched this video, like his video.
30 cases, 7 levels.
Yep.
From strange visitors in the night to crimes unfolding in real time, these clips prove the scariest moments often happen right outside your front door. Let's begin at the tip of the iceberg.
Iceberg. Level 1.
Someone
Wait.
slithering through neighbor's yard.
Jump scare. There's gonna be a jump scare, I know.
In the middle of the night, sometime
No?
in 2021, a doorbell camera caught a creepy figure slithering through the front yard. In the video shared on Reddit, the figure had been lying still on the floor for a few seconds, making it difficult to decipher what it was.
Yeah,
Moved,
like I didn't even saw it first.
It was a human twisting on the floor as it crawled across the front yard. No one ever found out who it was or why they were there. Tornado Enderlin.
Okay.
On June 20th, 2025, Hannah Deagle's doorbell camera captured a towering wall of cloud looming over houses just before a deadly tornado struck. Though it was a dark night, lightning flashes revealed the storm's structure, while the audio picked up its muffled and distorted roar. Minutes later, an EF3 tornado struck Enderlin, North Dakota, traveling nearly 12 miles with a wind speed of over 100 miles per hour. However, what the doorbell camera failed to capture was the destruction it left behind. At around 11:40 p.m., police were dispatched to an affected residence only to be
I thought it's
informed
some kind of video where like some creature caught on camera or something, but no, it's just a
storm chasers
storming
found
video.
two deceased
I mean,
people
storm
on
video.
the scene. Moments later, the fire department was dispatched to another location where a third body was found. The tornado destroyed about 10 homes, damaged several properties, and claimed the lives of 3 people.
Oh no.
Devil at the door. A Carrollton resident was waiting in the car for her husband when her Ring camera
Wait.
Carrollton
Oh my god. It's a fucking mansion. Holy shit.
resident was waiting in the car for her husband when her Ring camera notification went off. Nothing
Hey,
could
what's
have
up, Fish?
prepared her
Welcome to the
for what she
stream.
was about to see. It was a masked person in her driveway. The person made their way
Flat?
through the side
What do
yard
you
to
mean
her front
flat?
door, but they weren't wearing just any mask. They had the devil's face on. As the person approached the camera, it
What is this video about? This video is about the most disturbing doorbell footage, Iceberg. I used to watch this guy's video, so yeah,
became clear that they were wearing
it's
a
really
red
good.
goat
It's really
mask.
good.
They pretended to knock on her door while holding a sign with Bible verses that discussed the end times and judgment day. The verses specifically refer to the final defeat of Satan and the last judgment in which all humanity is judged. In a panic, she called the police. But by the time they got to her house, the person had already left. Still, they inspected the scene and found that no crime had occurred. They are still monitoring the situation. And the
This
person
one looks creepy, like at the middle of night, you got a notification on your camera and you opened it and you saw this guy. Bro, it's really creepy.
Level 2.
Level 2, let's go.
Jogger saves pets and house from burning.
Oh, okay.
November 6, 2021, a man was jogging in the Scotts Valley
Real life
neighborhood
hero.
when he noticed smoke rising from a house. He quickly stopped to get the residents' attention through their Ring doorbell camera, but no one was home. Instead of bolting off, he kept ringing, hoping someone would answer. Finally, the homeowner, Courtney Polito, saw him on the camera and replied. He told her the situation, and she heard the fire alarms going off. Panicking, she immediately gave the stranger the code so he could help save the family pets: 2 dachshunds, a rabbit, and a cat. Without
Oh,
hesitation, he entered the burning building to rescue the animals. The doorbell camera captured the jogger on multiple trips, carrying the pets under his arms to safety. By the time emergency services arrived, he had already left. The fire department said that if it had burned for 10 more minutes, the house would have been gone. It was only because of the mysterious hero in a yellow shirt that they were able to contain the
mysterious
fire
hero.
in the garage.
After the video?
Although
Okay,
smoke
okay, okay, no
damaged
problem.
the
Wait, let me
cabinets
see
and
what the
their
video
Chevy
is about.
Blazer, no one was hurt. OP is being stalked. A Reddit user posted disturbing
MNG,
footage
but
from
your
her Ring
dad
doorbell
burning
camera showing a stranger
okay.
repeatedly appearing at her door. Her friend had asked her if she
Yellow
had
shirt
ever
man.
checked the recorded messages left
Okay,
for
no
her.
problem. We'll watch
Expecting to
it.
see footage
This
from her
video is
friend's
34
visit,
minutes, so
ran
yeah,
outfit
you have
checks
to
with her
wait
roommate
like
or deliveries from
half
DoorDash.
a,
She
you know,
scrolled through the
like
recorded
30
videos
minutes now.
mindlessly until her eye caught an unfamiliar face. A man with
It's
dreadlocks
glitching.
carrying a backpack on his shoulder, repeatedly coming to her door. After pressing the bell, it appeared that he was trying to cover his face with his hands while he waited for her to answer. When she didn't, he left as silently as he had arrived. Perhaps even more creepy is what she saw when she looked back to see what the camera captured before his arrival. It was a video of her returning home after walking the dog. This meant that within a minute of her arrival, the man came in after her. This led her to believe that he was stalking her. The man has not been found,
Okay.
and the original poster hasn't given any updates. Midnight
Damn.
Shoe Sniffer.
Huh?
2022, a doorbell cam.
Bro, what kind of freak is this?
Midnight
What kind of freak is this guy? Like whoever sniffer, whoever the sniffer is, bro. Shoe sniffer.
Shoe Sniffer. In 2022, a doorbell camera captured some deeply unsettling footage. In the middle of the night, a man slowly walked up to a front door and picked up a shoe left outside. Without hesitation, he lifted it to his face and sniffed.
Bro,
Then, just as quickly as he had
disgusting.
picked it up,
Ew. Ew.
he set the shoe back down and walked away into the darkness. The homeowner later shared the footage on Reddit, explaining that the shoe belonged to his wife. It was her work shoe. To this
Bro.
day, the mysterious shoe sniffer remains unidentified.
He must be
Abandoned
wonderful.
child
Bro,
on a
ew.
stranger's doorstep.
What do you mean wonderful?
On
Ew.
October 17th, 2018, around 8:20 p.m., a doorbell camera captured a woman carrying a toddler to a home. Smiling, she set him down on the front porch, rang the bell, and quickly walked away. In a split second, she dropped his bags and ran back to her car, leaving him behind. The toddler stood there confused as the vehicle sped off moments later. The homeowner called 911 and Child Protective Services intervened. Law enforcement released the video to the public in an attempt to help identify the woman, but this move quickly caused outrage. The woman was later identified as Kiara Woods. Contrary to what many believed, she was not the boy's mother, but a friend of hers. According to Kiara, she was doing her friend a favor by dropping the 2-year-old off at his father's house. She claimed she was on the phone with the boy's mother at the time, who confirmed that the house she stopped at was the child's father's. However, it turned out to be the next-door neighbor's home. When asked why she left the boy unattended, Wood said she didn't have a sweater and was trying to escape the cold. She also claimed she wanted to avoid a confrontation with the child's stepmother, who had a restraining order against his mother. Authorities investigated her for felony child abandonment or child endangerment under Texas law.
Okay.
However, no formal charges have been filed at that time, and she was not taken to court.
Bro.
Level 3. Man potentially being coerced into a robbery. A doorbell camera captured bizarre footage of a shirtless man outside someone's home in the middle of the night. At first, he pretended to knock on the door but never actually did. Then he began speaking out loud as if holding a conversation with someone. Moments later, he glanced over his shoulder, seemingly making sure the person waiting in a nearby car could see him. He stepped back and repeatedly asked, "Matt live here?"
Matt live here. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry.
As if responding to someone, he acknowledged a negative answer, then quickly returned to the car. The man has never been identified, but many believe the footage suggests he was being coerced into a robbery or break-in. His strange behavior points to someone trying to stall or avoid doing something against his will. Ding Dong Ditch becomes sketchy and dangerous. In Bowling Green, Ohio, a homeowner's Ring doorbell camera captured the unsettling footage of
I
a
command you
masked man ringing.
after 12 minutes of this video, you got my video. I mean, you go my video. Okay. But now, I'm gonna finish all the way. Then I'm gonna watch your video.
The bell before dashing off. At first, it appeared to be a typical ding-dong ditch, the kind of prank many homeowners are familiar with. But this time, things were different. When the homeowners came downstairs to answer the door, they noticed the stranger hadn't actually left. Instead, he was standing across the street, eyes down, waiting for someone to open it.
That's creepy.
Alarmed, they contacted the police. However, by the time the officers arrived, the man had already disappeared. The Bowling Green Police Department later posted the footage on Facebook, asking the public to help identify him. Soon, other residents came forward reporting similar incidents that had taken place outside their own homes in the days leading up to the event. Despite the community's concern, the man was never identified, and his true intentions remain a mystery. Masked man with a gun. It was just before midnight in Aurora, Colorado, when David Johnson and his wife heard the doorbell ring. They didn't think much of it until David checked the doorbell camera. There he was, a man dressed in all black with a full-face white knitted mask and a handgun, ringing the bell and waiting for someone to answer it. There's no telling what would have happened if they had answered the door. Moreover, David's house wasn't his first visit that night.
If they were answered
Minutes
the
before, he
door,
pulled up in
then
front of
yeah,
David's
they're
house in
dead.
an SUV.
They're cooked.
He was at another house, but unlike David, the homeowner answered the door.
Oh.
Luckily, they quickly closed and locked it before he could get inside. Aurora police investigators noted that he was wearing unique footwear, possibly motorcycle boots, and also had a lanyard around his neck. They posted the video on X to warn residents about the suspect and seek help in identifying him. Still, he is yet to be found.
Yeah, it's
10-year-old
difficult to
scares
identify
away
when he's
potential burglar.
wearing a mask, you know.
It was the middle of the pandemic, and 10-year-old Lola Letourneau and her family were about to go out. The home security footage captures her coming out to help her mother by starting the car and turning on the air conditioning. As she settled into the SUV, a stranger walked into their driveway, apparently unaware that someone was in the car. At first, she let him go because she thought he was a delivery guy, but when he began moving toward the open garage, she knew she had to act.
Oh my.
Thought, she sprang out of the car and yelled at the top of her voice, "Get out of here!" Startled, the stranger ran back out while Lola ran inside to call for her parents. The video caught the public's attention, and her moment of bravery instantly made her the family hero.
Yup.
House blows up in the Netherlands.
Brave kid.
In April 2022, a camera captured the terrifying moment a house in the Netherlands suddenly exploded and collapsed to the ground. Earlier that day, the homeowners had called in an engineer for work, but he accidentally struck a gas line.
Oh.
Instead of warning the family right away, he waited. By the time he'd told them, gas had already begun spreading throughout the home. The family scrambled to find an emergency number and eventually dialed 112, but by the time operators instructed them to evacuate, it was too late. The house erupted in a massive blast, reducing it to rubble. Miraculously, everyone inside managed to get out alive.
Oh, they managed to get out.
Woman held at gunpoint. In February 2025, around 7:50 a.m. in Chatham County, Georgia, a woman's Ring doorbell camera captured her walking into the front porch and out of frame. When she came back into frame moments later, she was surrounded by 3 masked men with guns, flashing weapons, and holding one to the back of her head.
All right. Hold on.
One of the intruders quickly turned back to shut the door before disappearing inside. Moments later, gunfire erupted. By the time police arrived, they found a man sitting inside with a gunshot wound. They had shot him and stolen some items from the home before fleeing. Investigators believed it was a targeted attack, not a random break-in. Out of caution, they alerted nearby St. James Catholic schools to be on lockdown. The injured man was rushed to the hospital while the 3 masked suspects remain at large.
Bro.
Shackled woman rings doorbell. In August 2018, a doorbell camera in the Sunrise Ranch subdivision of Montgomery captured some unusual footage. In the dead of night, a barefoot woman clad only in a t-shirt and bound by broken cuffs around her wrists rang a home doorbell. Before the homeowner could answer the door, she disappeared. This event would launch a nationwide search. Initially, there were speculations that she could be a missing person, but the truth came to light after authorities identified her. Within a few days, the police confirmed she was a victim of domestic violence and was now safe. She revealed that her ex-boyfriend had restrained and assaulted her. After her statement, the police visited 49-year-old Dennis Ray Collins, but found him dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound inside a rental home in the same neighborhood. She says she forgave him long before he was gone. According to her, he sent her a message before he died telling her to give her mother a hug and be happy. Level 4. Men posing as maintenance workers attempt a break.
So, like when we're getting into the deeper level, like we're on level 4, the footage will be more disturbing. So, yeah.
When Ethan Rodriguez installed a doorbell camera in his apartment in Oak Cliff, Dallas, he never expected that it would capture a crime scene. In August 2023, a man appeared at his front door claiming to be a maintenance guy. He was holding a notebook and a pen, looking at the apartment numbers. After a few seconds, he rang the doorbell and, looking in his notepad to confirm the house number one more time.
I know this
before
Iceberg
the
stuff.
house owner
Yeah, but
answered.
who even don't know, you know, for them.
Check your air filters?
Ah, yes, they came to check your air filters? He asked. Through the camera, Ethan stated that
Hey, what's
no
up,
one had
Brian?
come
Welcome to the
check their
stream.
air filters, and no one was home to allow him inside to inspect them.
Game 24 Doritos late.
No. Yeah, we're checking the air filters.
Oh, nobody's home right now. You'll have to wait until another day.
Oh, much appreciated.
The maintenance guy thanked him and knocked on the door across the hallway. Moments later, everything took a turn. The supposed maintenance guy, now holding a gun, turned around and started kicking the door to force it open. After a few futile kicks, another guy who had been waiting in the background wearing a mask joined him to push the door open. Fearing for his and his brother's safety, Ethan fired approximately 13 rounds through the door.
Very good. Very good.
The intruders fired back before fleeing down the hallway. Within minutes, Dallas police arrived on the scene and collected evidence, including the doorbell footage. They shared the footage online for the public to help identify the intruders, and the video quickly went viral. Within a few days, the unmasked guy was identified as 30-year-old Aaron Contreras. He was arrested and charged with aggravated assault, deadly conduct, and attempted burglary of a habitation.
No shotgun
Second
involved.
suspect, who was
Unbelievable.
wearing a mask, remains
why do people use? Oh, in US people use shotguns, right, for home safety, I guess. I don't know.
Massive deadly fire almost kills homeowners. Just a month after Mike Fernandez proposed to his partner in their driveway, their Ring doorbell camera would end up saving their lives and their home. Around 3 a.m., Mike and his fiancée Katie and his brother were asleep when his phone notifications began going off. Half awake, Mike opened his eyes to check what was happening, only to see blazing flames outside their front yard.
I finally opened up my eyes and looked to my right, and outside my bedroom window I just saw what looked to
Flame?
be like flames.
Yeah.
The fire had broken out in the trees next to the driveway.
I
Strong
laughed
winds
because
were pushing it
you
rapidly.
guys can see here. Wait.
Like flames.
Look at the flame. And look at this guy using a little extinguisher. But anyways, he's brave, you know.
The fire had broken out in the trees next to the driveway, and
Oh
strong
my
winds
God.
were pushing it rapidly toward their home. Thinking fast, Mike grabbed a fire extinguisher and tried to contain it, but the flames were already too large to control. Realizing the danger, they fled the house.
There's no
Fortunately,
chance.
no one
Yeah,
was
they're
hurt.
like,
Ironically,
look at the
family had
flame.
removed their smoke detectors while
Look at the
repainting the
flame.
home.
He have
so
no
ring
no
alerts
single
were the
chance.
only thing that
But
warned
he's
them in
brave.
time.
He, at least he tried,
The
you
home
know.
still sustained fire damage, but thanks to the quick alert, it wasn't completely destroyed. Intruder lounges around the porch.
Okay.
Maris Lopez
Intruders.
was clearing out footage from her Ring doorbell when she came across a disturbing video. The night before, while she and her 10-year-old slept in their Albuquerque, New Mexico home, a stranger spent the entire night on their porch, and he didn't leave until dawn. The Ring doorbell camera caught him coming through the gravel onto her front porch. He carelessly dropped his backpack on the chair and settled in comfortably for the next 6 hours.
6
Not even her
hours.
security signs, which warned she had
I think he's just a homeless guy, you know,
Ring doorbell camera
looking
and
for
an
some
armed
kind
response
like
team
looking
stop
for
him.
a
During his
spot
time
to
there,
sleep.
he paced back and forth, peered into windows, lit a stick, and smoked. At one point, he even dropped his pants, exposing himself to the
Bro.
camera. He finally left the porch after 6 a.m.
Now you did a serious crime.
Upon discovering the footage, Maris filed a police report and requested that law enforcement increase patrols in the area. After sharing the video online, neighbors reported seeing the same man knocking on doors and wandering around. The intruder has not yet been identified.
Okay.
Chilling video shows screaming woman begging for help. On April 21st, 2024, around 10:45 p.m., a doorbell camera in Oregon captured a disturbing scene. A distressed woman rang the bell frantically, pounding on the door as she glanced over her shoulder in fear, desperately hoping someone would answer.
No.
Suddenly, a bearded man appeared, grabbed her, and forcefully carried her away. Clinging to the door, she screamed for help.
Please help me! Please
But her cries went unanswered. The man carried her off and moments later drove away in a pickup truck.
Oh
The next
no.
morning, the homeowner reported the footage to police, who released it publicly to seek help in identifying the suspect. Within a day, the victim was located and moved to safety, and the man was arrested and charged with kidnapping.
Okay.
Investigators later confirmed that the suspect and the victim knew each other, and this was not a random attack. Confused intruder tries to climb
That scared the
in
shit
through
out of me. Yeah, like when the guy like ran in suddenly, you know.
On the night of June 29, 2018, Christine Paul, a former police officer living in Fresno's Tower District, was startled by a loud pounding on her front door. When she cracked open the door, she found a strange woman on her porch. Within seconds, Christine realized the woman wasn't in her right mind and quickly shut the door.
Okay.
And that's when things spiraled out of control.
Karen.
Christine's Ring
Yeah,
doorbell
I
camera
guess.
recorded the intruder pounding frantically on the door to force it open. When that didn't work, she backed up and hurled the full weight of her body onto the window. The window screen snapped off and she yanked it aside, reaching her arm inside. By then, Christine had grabbed her 9mm pistol and called 911. She
Yeah.
shouted at the woman to stop.
What is going on? What is going on? I will shoot! I have a gun! Why?
Visibly confused, the intruder asked, "What's going on?" Only backing off after
Bro, he's the one doing shits and she's asking like what's going on? Oh my god, what an
Christine warned
excuse,
she was
bro.
gone. Moments later, Fresno police arrived and restrained the woman, but the story didn't end there. The intruder was later identified as 29-year-old Hana Nakagawa, a first-grade teacher at Fresno Unified School District.
What?
First
She's Japanese? She doesn't look like Japanese.
grade teacher at Fresno Unified School District. The next day, a police chaplain showed up at Christine's house, but not to provide support or guidance. He was there to introduce himself as the intruder's father. Christine refused to talk to him. Instead, she demanded that a lieutenant or sergeant be sent over. Hana Nakagawa was later charged with misdemeanor vandalism.
She looked like a Korean American. Yeah, bro.
Misdemeanor vandalism.
That's why I got
Stalker tries to
confused.
corner a woman walking home. A Ring doorbell camera captured the terrifying moment a woman was followed to her doorstep by a strange man. In the footage, the woman rushes up the stairs, frantically ringing the bell and screaming for her friend Lacey to let her in. The man trails closely behind, unfazed by her pleas for help. At one point, he lunges forward to grab her. She manages to slip away, but he doesn't stop. He keeps following her, circling her car, pacing back and forth, and keeping his eyes locked on her every move.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
It's not my mom. Lacey!
Moments later, the door finally opens and the woman rushes inside, trembling in tears as she explains what happened. She tells her friend that the man had been following her from 62nd Street. She had tried to stay calm on the way home, but panic overcame her when she reached the door.
No, he's been following me since 62nd. Call the police.
Even after being shouted at, the stalker refuses to leave. He lingers on the property until a larger man steps outside and confronts him. Police were called to the scene immediately afterward. Man gets robbed at gunpoint in front of his house. In July 2019 in Fayetteville, a man's Ring doorbell camera captured 4 armed men robbing him on his front porch while his fiancée was inside with her young children. The man was returning from a convenience store when he was robbed. The thieves got everything he had on him, but they still wanted more. They followed him to the house and demanded that he open the door. While blood poured from his head, they held a gun to his back and forced him to open the door. When his fiancée heard the commotion outside, she opened the door. Inside, they took cash, debit cards, phones, lottery tickets, and illegal narcotics. The police believed it was not a random attack. Level 5. Woman gets dragged by ex. In Arcadia, Southern California, a woman desperately tried to escape her estranged boyfriend when she ran to a neighbor's house for help. The Ring camera at the door recorded her fearfully knocking on the door and asking for help.
It looks like she got a flashbang or something.
Suddenly, the man appeared behind her, grabbed her hair, and
Oh.
violently dragged her away. She kicked and screamed as he pulled her across the hard pavement, threatening to take her life if she kept resisting. Then he forced her down the block to his home, where he held her against his will. The next day, the police got a link to the disturbing footage and immediately launched a search. Officers canvassed the neighborhood, knocking on doors, and soon located both the victim and the suspect. The attacker was identified as 27-year-old Robert Michael Mendez. He was arrested without incident and faces charges of kidnapping her and attempting to take her life. The victim sustained serious injuries and had to be
That's
transferred
scary.
to the hospital for treatment. Woman committing arson. On August 26, 2021, a doorbell camera in North Avondale, Ohio, recorded a shocking act of arson. At around 9:30 p.m., a woman walked up to a condo building on Reading Road carrying lighter fluid. She sprayed the front door of the building and set it ablaze. Unsatisfied with the small flames, she briefly walked away, only to return with more lighter fluid. Each time she doused the building, the fire grew larger, eventually surging upward and spreading to other parts of the structure. Once she was satisfied with the blaze, she climbed into a packed SUV and sped away. Her escape didn't last long. Roughly 2 months later, investigators identified the suspect as 30-year-old Jatoya Mathis. She was arrested and charged with 2 counts of aggravated arson. Brutal home invasion. caught on camera. The couple
Okay.
returned home from a night out
I
around
love
3
fire.
a.m. on
Shut the
January
fuck up, bro.
16th,
What do you mean you
2021.
love fire? Don't do crimes, bro.
They met at their front porch, almost ended their lives. The doorbell camera of their home in Hialeah recorded 2 armed men holding them at gunpoint. One of them pressed a gun to the man's head while the other pulled the woman by her hair and slammed her to the ground. The couple tried to fight back, but they were repeatedly hit with a pistol. During the commotion, one of the attackers quickly went inside the house while the other stalled the couple. He pointed his weapon at the woman and tried to pull the trigger, but it did not discharge. That was the woman's cue to fight back. She stood up and launched at him, throwing punches and slamming him to the ground. Eventually, the attackers fled the scene and got away with a gold chain and bracelet valued at $18,000.
Damn.
The couple was hospitalized with multiple injuries, including some that required stitches. Despite this, the doorbell footage and swift investigation quickly led police to their attackers. Police identified the first man as 34-year-old Michael Diaz and his accomplice as 30-year-old Yazel Ramos. They were arrested within days and charged with home invasion robbery with a firearm and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon.
Okay.
Level 6. Doorbell camera catches crash after deadly police chase. Around 7:45 p.m. on May 28, 2025, the California Highway Patrol was chasing a suspect vehicle when it suddenly crashed into 2 pedestrians. 15 minutes earlier, officers had spotted
2 pedestrians. I mean, I pronounced it really bad. Wait, again.
California Highway Patrol was chasing a suspect vehicle when it suddenly crashed into 2 pedestrians.
Pedestrians, okay.
15 minutes earlier, officers had spotted an Infiniti sedan wanted for fleeing Alameda deputies. While they tried to stop the vehicle, the driver, 18-year-old Eric Hernandez, refused to pull over. 37 seconds into the pursuit, police called off the chase and switched to tracking him from a helicopter. For the next 15 minutes, they monitored the Infiniti weaving across the freeway. Eventually, Eric pulled over, stepped out of the car, but the moment he saw officers closing in, he jumped back inside and sped off again, forcing police to resume pursuit. Within 30 seconds, Eric slammed into a minivan. Officers immediately stopped the chase to help the injured passengers, but Eric didn't stop running. Barely 20 seconds later, he lost control again, this time smashing into a fire hydrant and 2 pedestrians on the sidewalk. The doorbell camera caught the horrifying scene. Realizing the car was barreling toward them, the victims tried to scramble up the staircase railing of a nearby home, but they weren't fast enough. One victim, Marvin Boomer, a PhD holder, math teacher, and pathway coach for 8 years at Castlemont High School, died instantly from the impact. His girlfriend, the second victim, survived with injuries. Eric Hernandez was later arrested and booked into Santa Rita Jail on suspicion of felony vehicle manslaughter, hit and run, and evading police. Neighbor from hell, Stephen Groves.
Huh? Oh my.
In 2020, when Stephen Prasad, a wheelchair-bound man, installed a Ring camera in his home, he would never have expected it to trigger years of harassment from his neighbor. His niece set up the camera to keep an eye on her vulnerable uncle, but his neighbor, Stephen Groves, made it his life's mission to destroy it. As if unaware that the camera recorded his every move, Groves would come armed with tools like a claw hammer and screwdriver to try and cut the wires or smash the lens. When that didn't work, he used a marker to scrawl on the screen. On one occasion, he even tried to rip the camera off with his bare hands. But it wasn't only the Ring camera that suffered. Groves extended his hostility to Stephen and his carers. He blasted loud, thumping music late at night to make them uncomfortable. At one point, he even removed the hinges from a shared door, apparently hoping it would injure his neighbor, but karma said no. The door collapsed violently on his back while he was standing at the gate, plotting against the camera. Terrified for their safety, Stephen Prasad and his niece reported him to the authorities. In 2022, Groves admitted to harassment without violence. He received a 24-month restraining order, a 12-week electronic curfew, 20 days of probation, and was ordered to pay £100 in compensation to each victim. Yet despite the order, his harassment continued.
Karma, bro, karma.
Over the years, he was dragged back to court 25
Karma hits different, bro.
more times. Wow, what an effective legal system. Finally, in April 2025, Birmingham City Council had had enough. Groves was evicted from his council home for breaching his tenancy agreement. Level 7. Woman abducted and tortured.
Oh
The
my.
Texas home security camera captured the footage of a man forcefully carrying a woman while she flailed her legs and screamed for help. Fortunately, the homeowner noticed and immediately contacted 911. He told dispatchers that the woman had been running down the street before the man grabbed her and dragged her into a trailer. When the authorities arrived, they identified the suspect as 22-year-old Jose Carcamo. He denied any knowledge of the incident, but police came prepared with a search warrant. What they found inside was far worse than expected. Officers heard a faint knocking sound coming from a basement. Inside, they discovered a closet with a board screwed across the door to keep it shut. When they forced it open, they found the woman inside, locked away without food or water for 5 days.
Oh
She
my.
came from New York, where she worked as a masseuse. A few days ago, she had accepted what seemed like a better-paying job in Houston, but her supposed employer...
Hey, Jarif, welcome back.
Carcamo
Welcome to the
was arrested and
stream.
charged with aggravated kidnapping, a first-degree felony, and assault causing
He deserve death, you know.
bodily injury. Investigators
Death is also will be a low punishment for him.
later revealed that he's an illegal immigrant from Honduras living in the U.S. since 2020. Caught on doorbell cam.
What the?
69-year-old grandmother
Holy grandma! Not gonna lie, I got scared for a split of second. Holy shit!
Catherine Kathy Flynn was brutally attacked inside what should have been the safety of her own home. Her doorbell camera captured the moment a man in a hoodie ran up to her house on Sempte Road in Ryle in October 2024. He began kicking at the door, trying to force it open. When that failed, he moved to the front window and smashed his way through. The camera was connected to the phone of Kathy's daughter, Natasha, who received an alert at around 10:27 p.m. That night, she had to watch helplessly as glass shattered and her mother's screams erupted. Once inside, the attacker dragged Kathy from her bed. He then stomped on her face and neck at least 15 times before fleeing back out through the broken window.
Oh my
Kathy
god.
suffered catastrophic injuries, including major facial and brain trauma, and died in the hospital the following day.
Oh
The
my.
attacker was arrested just hours later and identified as 34-year-old Dean Mears, a stranger to Kathy. During his 9-day trial at Caernarfon Crown Court, Mears claimed he had been high on drugs and remembered nothing of the attack. The jury
That's a lie.
rejected his defense. In May 2025, he was found guilty of intentionally taking her life. A month later, on June 20th, 2025, he was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 28 years before being eligible for parole.
What happened? Let me show you what happened.
And assault causing bodily
wait.
injury. Investigators later revealed that he's an illegal caught on doorbell cam. 69
Here. We are talking about the grandma. Kind of look like a ghost, you know, like some kind of unknown creature or something. But rest in peace, grandma. She died. She died to an drug addict animal, you know, you can say. Rest in peace, grandma.